Welcome back to CPAC Now, America Uncanceled. I'm Matt Schlapp, along with Mercedes Schlapp. How are you, sweetheart?
We're doing great. We're back. It's back Tuesday again.
That's right.
We're here in the studio, and there's been so much going on. Just last week, we had a wonderful event at our home to launch CPAC Texas. That's in Dallas, Texas, July 9th through the 11th. Make sure to register. Go up to conservative.org to get your tickets. We want to see you there. But we also had a chance, Matt, to speak with Senator James Lankford, the great senator, conservative senator from Oklahoma.
Yeah, he's a great member of the Senate, a strong conservative, somebody we're proud to call a friend. And it was great to be with so many wonderful members of Congress and conservative champions people see battling it out on various news sites at our home to launch CPAC Texas. Yeah. It's going to be a great event. You need to go there. Please get your tickets. This is going to be a big deal. We have some big announcements coming up on it.
Absolutely, but I have to tell you, the one great picture that we saw was, of course, Leo Terrell with our 5 girls. He kept going around going, where are the 5 Schlapp Angels? So he's able to take a photo with them. The girls were very excited to meet Leo, and of course they love Katie Pavlich, so the Schlapp girls got to spend some time with Katie as well. But first, we want to talk some news, and it's about your alma mater, Notre Dame, where our daughter, Fiona, will be attending in the fall. President Biden, he was invited to speak at the commencement. He's making history as only the second president to skip the Notre Dame commencement. The White House says it's due to a scheduling conflict. What do you think, Schlapp?
Well, this is a controversial, kind of a complicated story, a little fuzzy. You know, was Joe Biden for sure invited to give the commencement, or was it kind of a soft ask? When I worked for President Bush, he was asked to give the commencement as his first commencement as president. His father did the same thing at Notre Dame, gave his first commencement as president. Ronald Reagan gave a very famous commencement at Notre Dame, where he, of course, famously was George Gipp in Newt Rockne All-American, this famous movie that Ronald Reagan was in. So, you know, Notre Dame really works politically for presidents because it's not on the Northeast, it's in the heartland. Obviously, ethnic Catholic votes are the ultimate swing constituency. Barack Obama gave the address, not as a Catholic, but as one of his first commencements, and he was given an honorary degree. And the university was stuck with that decision for years after, because people said, how could you give an honorary degree to somebody who's so adamantly a booster of abortion? And it looks like Joe Biden, who's not just a booster of abortion, he wants us all to pay for those abortions. If you're Catholic and in healthcare, in the healthcare profession, you wouldn't be allowed to opt out of helping perform an abortion. We have the war on gender and girls' sports. Girls' sports are a big part of the culture at Notre Dame. I think it was just too much policy that's obnoxious to the Catholic community.
It would have been a big news story.
A hullabaloo, yeah.
Exactly. So I think Joe Biden said, you know what, I think I'll stay home, take a nap, as opposed to going to this commencement.
He put a lid on the Notre Dame commencement, not a cap, a lid.
Oh yes, and yeah. He does that often, every day at a very early time. But now we're going to move over to our interview. The newsmaker of the day, lifetime public servant and a true man of God, Senator James Lankford. He served in the U.S. Senate since 2015 and served 4 years in the House before that. Here's our exclusive interview with Senator Lankford as he reflects on the direction of the country.
Well, if this was school, I actually wouldn't give the president a grade. I would just list him as absent. Actually, not there at all. He's absent at the border, taking no leadership there. He's absent in our foreign policy. We can't find where he's going in Israel and all foreign policy in the Middle East. We can't figure out what his policy is in energy. We've got a pipeline crisis, but really the pipeline crisis with the Colonial Pipeline is really the ghost of Christmas future of where he's going for all pipelines and energy, what we're going to be facing in the days ahead based on his policy. So he's been absent in all these areas. It's been incredibly frustrating. He seems to be really focused on pleasing the left, but not actually getting anything accomplished.
Continue.
No, I was just saying, at the end of the day, the economy is not just something you can just ignore. The economy is the baseline of how we're going to actually function as a nation. And the president seems to be very, very checked out from things like unemployment and what's really happening around the country with 8 million jobs. And he's just pouring unemployment assistance on, making our inflation continue to accelerate. And so this president that just seems to be absent from all the biggest crises and the issues of the day, he just seems to be pretending it's not there when it's most certainly there and everyone sees it.
Speaking of the left, it seems that the progressive left is trying to silence and cancel conservatives. And, you know, a lot of folks are feeling very frustrated. They don't know what to do. What is your advice to conservative activists, the grassroots folks who are on the ground every day, you know, to encourage them to keep going, keep moving, so we can make a change and take this country back?
So activists are on the left are out there trying to be able to silence conservatives in every way that they possibly can, to be able to scream at them loud enough, to be able to silence them online, to be able to find ways to get corporations to be able to go in and say, don't allow them to get there. They can't come on campus. They can't speak out in public places. We're going to find ways to be able to oppose all of your policies through some corporate board that they've created to try to silence folks. Conservatives just live your values, and it makes all the difference. So you've got this angry, bitter left that is living angry and bitter and trying to silence everybody. We need to respond to that with the grace and the love and the consistency of the truth that we have, because we have the truth on our side. I don't have to scream back at somebody to be able to tell somebody we know that we are right. We just live our values, and they'll just keep yelling, and the rest of the country will go, that's a lot more attractive to be able to have somebody live in their values than it is that person just screaming in the corner. So they try to cancel out with hate. We just push back with calm demeanor and with facts and with truth, and truth will absolutely win the day. So when I encourage people that are out there that believe like I believe in this basic value of opportunity for everybody, a strong military, a deterrent for aggression for the rest of the world, to be able to speak out for human rights issues around the world, to be able to be engaged in an economy that helps every single person in every neighborhood, for school choice, all these things that really help families grow and prosper. We just keep living that value and keep speaking it, and people will keep nodding their head saying that's a better way. So for everybody that's hesitating, I tell them, stay engaged in conversation with people, because the facts do win the day. Don't give up on actually sharing facts. Don't let the siren song of the bitter, angry left draw you into their bitter, angry diatribe. Go love and engage with truth and facts. That'll win out. Get involved in your school board. Get involved in your city council. The left has taken over school board. The left has taken over a lot of city councils because we haven't been there. We haven't even run. We haven't even tried. We're looking at what's happening nationally. They're taking over locally. We need to get involved in the smallest of elections, the smallest of issues, and to be able to articulate our values. That's going to make a big difference.
I agree, from dog catcher all the way up to the presidency.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just the truth. I mean, we do ignore these local elections, and that's where, you know, the real decisions are being
right.
made. Not the real decisions aren't being made on Capitol Hill,
Right.
but the decisions that impact your day-to-day, that's made on the local level, the school boards, and so we definitely need to encourage people to go out there and to throw their name in the hat, you know, put their name in the hat and, you know, and get involved. What do you think our prospects are for taking back the House and Senate in 2022?
Joe Biden is our best campaign asset at this point to winning back 2022, because every day the stuff that he releases, the American people shake their head and say, that's not the direction that we need to go as a country. And he is doing everything he can to appease this tiny little sliver of angry progressives, and they're cheering him in the background, and the rest of the country is shaking their head and saying, I do not agree. So I think we're going to see an overwhelming response in 2022. But that's why I think it's so important that people get engaged in local races as well as national races, because I think so many just normal, conservative, God-fearing American patriots are going to show up to be able to vote. That I think this is the time that a lot of folks need to be able to lean in and engage and say, let's actually engage in our local races, our national races. Let's win back the Congress, definitely. We've got to be able to have the Congress to be able to have a check on what this president's trying to do. But we also need to engage in every area across all of the country, because this is a moment we're going to see a sweep and a response.
Well, you can see why Senator Lankford is such a popular politician and why conservatives really appreciate him. You know, he's not a red meat guy. He's thoughtful, and but always does the right thing. And I think his approach is exactly what we need today. And I think Regina did a great job asking those questions.
Right. When I had the conversation with him, he explained how he was not the bomb thrower, but
No.
like the carpenter. He likes to build things. He likes to make sure that.
Ooh, that's good.
Isn't that? I thought that was beautiful.
He might be the bomb diffuser instead of the bomb thrower.
We need both. We need both in the Senate.
Look, I have to tell you, I'm kind of bursting with pride over what's happening at ACU. The team here is doing a phenomenal job. The studio is literally in our headquarters. We have new people coming at us to support the ACU literally on a daily basis. We're fulfilling a need that people have. They want information. They want it quickly. They want to be able to trust what is being said, which I'm very complimented that people believe that we're doing that. But the group is really charging head on into this fight. Will America adopt socialism? Will America allow the government to get so big it can tell us when we can open and when we can close, when we can pray and when we can't? We have some very fundamental questions before us as a country, and our CPAC community is doing a lot to make sure people feel hopeful. Because remember, there's more of us than there are of them, which is why they had to cheat to win the election. It's a pretty simple theme.
I love that line.
Yeah.
I love that line. But
you don't have to cheat if you're going to win anyway. You only cheat when you're not going to win.
But we're a lot more powerful than people think. Conservatives need to have their voices heard. We cannot be silenced by the big tech companies. We are not going to be censored. And that's why here at ACU, we're working every day to make sure that your voices are heard.
That's right. So keep watching the show. You can go to conservative.org. Click on the icon, follow us on social media. I'm sorry, we always give our Twitter handles. We should be giving the handles for all these other great new social media platforms, so maybe they'll throw it up on the screen here. But I'm at mschlapp, and you're at Mercedes Schlapp, and you can follow us on Facebook too, except I'm not really on Facebook that much right now because they keep kicking me off because I'm obnoxious, but this is the state that we're in. Thanks for watching. We really appreciate it. Keep up the good work. God bless America, and let's go save this country.